still curious, if you have time, I know you're under a lot of pressure, but if you have time to do 1 or 2 typeface variations, you could even put them in the same file, and we could talk about them in class, we could workshop them in class. But it's a banger. It's really looking good. So I like the one where the image goes under the type, but I also think, I don't know that I agree with you that that type is readable. It's difficult for me to see if I don't have a PDF, but I know that you were busy. But here's the thing. If I were faced with that, I would cheat. So watch. I have my type and logo on their own layer. So let's say that I felt that here, where the black and white are kind of crossing each other, that it's hard to read. I don't necessarily think that, but let's pretend that that the moon is a little brighter. I would cheat. I would take the ellipse tool and I would make a new layer on top of my image layer. This is my image layer. So I would do this as my cheat layer. Now, you could do this in Photoshop, but this is kind of the down and dirty, it's the end of the semester, let's not muck about kind of way to do this. So the moon is specifically what I want to make larger, darker. In your case, I think it would be the faces. So maybe you pick the faces that are really conspicuously under the type. And then there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You're absolutely going to be using your opacity. But if I didn't want this hard edge, I can use something called the feather tool. And I'm going to go look for it because I don't always know where it is. Effects, basic feather. Okay, so object, effects, basic feather. And it's from the effects menu. So I am going to notice that I have my preview button on. The higher this number gets, the softer this line becomes, right? So I can do this. I can get it in here. I can move it up here. Now, I don't want this because I'm blocking Akhenaten, so I'll come in here and add a directional feather as well. Maybe I'll go up a little higher. So that the top part of the moon is doing this, and maybe I'll play with this. Maybe I'll play with a blend mode. I might see if I have a blend mode that I like. So I would play with the transparency tools specifically over the areas that are bothering me. Like I wouldn't just say to the whole image, oh, make it 80% or make it 50%. I would zone in on the things that are right underneath the type. And so that is how I would cheat. And so now, if I come up here, and I can, because it's on its own layer, I can turn it on and off. To me, this specifically and this specifically are now easier to read. But I didn't mess with Akhenaten, which I don't want to. I want that high contrast moment in between the type that you can see his face and you can see what he's about to do. All right, so basically you can darken the image in specific areas if you want to, very easily using the feather tool, using your opacity, and using your blend modes. I would split it up into different layers just to make it easy on myself. Look, it's looking great. Keep going. Make sure that you have bleed. Make sure that your overrides are good on your style sheets. And make sure that image is placed and not pasted in, and I think you're going to be great.